one of the hardest things to understand as an entrepreneur or a business owner is the fact that growth can wreck your business. That it can really put your business at risk. By that, I mean working capital becomes so vital as your business grows, especially if you sell on credit. If you're a tech firm that bills in advance, accounts receivable is something you're not too familiar with. But for most other businesses that sell on credit, the growth, increased sales means increased accounts receivable. It means a strain on cash. And so we look very closely at the working capital, particularly cash, and what that means for the business as it grows and how we can make sure that it always is there available to pay the bills, to pay the people, and not get strapped. Because what we often hear is my sales are up, my profits are up, but I have no cash.
Hi, I'm Zarina and welcome to the Grownlearn Podcast. Beyond these conversations, I actively connect investors with high growth opportunities. Right now, I'm working on projects seeking strategic partners. If you're an investor, PE firm, or family office looking for scalable ventures, let's talk. Book a call at grownlearn.org to explore these opportunities. Welcome to Grow and Learn. Today, my guest is Ken LaCroix from Insightful Partners. He is fractionally CFOing. He's a fractional CFO turning data into profits. Today, we're speaking about visualizing data and how this can help mid-sized companies to get a grip of their growth, get more data-driven decisions. Hi, Ken. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Serena. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Ken, what was your path to starting this company? How did you end up here? What's the passion for data?
Sure. Well, I think it's boiled out of frustration. So, my background is in accounting, but we're sort of the anti-accountants, if you will. We think that the accounting reports that come out of the accounting department or the finance department aren't very helpful to business owners. I think they're very helpful for people looking at the business from the outside, people that want to invest in the business, people that want to understand the business. But for these small to mid-sized companies, those standard financial statements, I just don't think they're that helpful. We think there's other ways of looking at the numbers that are much more relevant and much more available to make better decisions. So it's sort of a passion around the frustration of standard financial statements and how can we possibly make this better for business owners and their leadership teams so that it's not so difficult. It's a little bit easier. Their jobs are hard enough. So we try and make the accounting and data side a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Are you stepping in for the job of a financial controller or a financial analyst for companies that do not have these positions staffed?
So that's a perfect question. Yes, most of our clients have an accounting department, but not a finance department or not a finance function. So as you grow your company, you move beyond bookkeeping into accounting, but at some point you need to move beyond accounting into some sort of a finance function, some sort of a analytical, role-based, scenario-based, forward-looking function, which is not accounting. That's the finance domain. But to hire finance folks or people, it's very, very difficult and you don't need them full time. So that's where we come in on the fractional side to introduce those finance functions, data analyst, financial analyst, that strategic CFO role and help our clients sort of look forward, use the past data to look forward and measure their performance against their estimates.
Mm-hmm. You're based in Southern California, and I imagine that your clients would theoretically be tech companies, but then I assume the tech companies already have staffed for data analysts and for financial analysts. So who is your client actually?
So we do have a lot of tech clients, but we have most of our clients are in the professional services area, construction, manufacturing, and distribution. So those are areas where either labor is a large component of their resources or their product, if you will. So we have solutions that track labor very, very well and very detailed. Or in examples like construction, or manufacturing or distribution, they have lots and lots and lots and lots of data. Their profit and loss happens by tiny, small increments, positive or negative, and it's difficult to pull together where the signal is in the midst of all the noise that all that small but voluminous pieces of data are presented.
Mhm. So your company, Insightful Partners, is it a consulting? Is it a tech solution? Both? What do you offer actually?
Yeah, we're your data partners. So we don't have standard solutions that we offer. We look to the marketplace to find the best fit for what people need. So whether it's something that immediately attaches to QuickBooks and gets us started with dashboards and visualizations in a few hours or a few days, or whether it's bespoke dashboards that we build upon the Microsoft platform that handle operational data, sales and marketing data, HR data, any other sorts of data combined with the financials to add additional insight to the financial numbers and everything in between. We have lots of other platforms that we use that attach to the data and help us get to the data quickly so that we can start visualizing and making decisions quickly.
Mhm. How long have you been running this company for now?
We're almost hitting our eighth year.
Eight
So,
years.
and I've been in this space of fractional CFO for a little over 15 years as well. So I took all of my history and all the things we've done before, all the mistakes I made, all the problem clients we had, all the things that didn't work out, and I sort of formulated into Insightful Partners along with my partner Wes. We came together and created Insightful Partners specifically to focus on this data-driven, visualization-driven, make better decisions with the management team approach.
Mhm. Can you think of an example of a shocking turnaround or a remarkable turnaround of a company after you've implemented your approach?
Sure, sure. So what we find, especially in construction or distribution companies, the reports are hundreds, if not thousands of pages long. So we had a construction client that had about a 950 page job cost report. This was a client that had jobs that spanned 6 months to 2 years. So they were longer jobs and they weren't on the job full time. They were on the job part of the time while other contractors did certain things to complete high-end custom homes or high-end commercial buildings. So nobody was looking at a 900-page report. And, there was no value. There was probably value in 20 pages inside of 900 pages, but it's very, very difficult to find. So and they had an older system that didn't allow us to attach directly to the data. Some of the newer systems are wonderful in the amount of data that they make available, but some of the older systems, not so much. So we took the 900-page report, we printed it overnight to a server, we ingested that into a model, a data model, and we decomposed all of their jobs, all of their job codes, all of their information into a graphic, a visualization that let the project managers in the morning take a look at where their projects were ahead of budget, where they were behind budget, which cost codes were creeping up in terms of too much budget, or which change orders have not been processed, where they need to do additional billing. Maybe accounting is behind on the invoicing. They need to focus on getting more money for the milestones. So just a number of different places where they could see where the jobs were happening and where they should put their first 10 to 45 minutes of attention to get there.
Mhm. Do your clients see this as a no-brainer solution for their problems, are you faced with like common misconceptions and maybe they don't understand the value of the product, of the service?
Everyone understands making better decisions with data, but it's hard to change the organization to do so. So most of our organizations they're very intuitive. They make decisions with their gut, and they're usually pretty correct. And so now to introduce them to a more rigorous sort of information system, a more rigorous way of making decisions, can be a little bit of change management, a little bit difficult in the beginning, but it allows more people on the team. As our clients grow, we're adding more people to the team. And so that communication among the team becomes ever more critical. And that's where those visualizations, some of those standardized ways of looking at the data really help. So everyone's looking at one single source of truth. They're not looking at their own spreadsheet. They're not looking at their own Google document. They're not looking at their own way of looking at things. The whole organization is looking at the set of data, but they're looking at it in ways that they need to for their decision making, but it's still the same set of data.
Mhm. As you're a fractional CFO, I assume that you are on board for a longer period of time. So this is not a one-time exercise, or how do you normally engage over time, or how do they hire you?
Over time, we're the data partners. So in a perfect world, we would spend 18 to 36 months with our clients, growing them into a finance function where they're hiring people directly. And we sort of move along, or in some cases, just sort of help them at the margin with certain things. So we love to see our customers outgrow us. Those are our best clients.
Mhm. Fantastic. What else do you find very beneficial and opening up for growth with this approach? I know it's a very generic question, but is there something that I'm missing to ask you?
Sure, sure. So, you know, one of the hardest things to understand as an entrepreneur or a business owner is the fact that growth can wreck your business. It can really put your business at risk. By that, I mean working capital becomes so vital as your business grows, especially if you sell on credit. If you're a tech firm that bills in advance, accounts receivable is something you're not too familiar with. But for most other businesses that sell on credit, the growth increased sales means increased accounts receivable. It means a strain on cash. And so we look very closely at the working capital, particularly cash, and what that means for the business as it grows, and how we can make sure that it always is there available to pay the bills, to pay the people, and not get strapped. Because the what we often hear is my sales are up, my profits are up, but I have no cash. And so that's usually where we get involved and start talking about the accrual method of accounting. We start talking about just all kinds of different things that we can do to manage that working capital, manage that cash, to make better decisions along the way. Maybe tailor the growth a little bit less to ensure that you always have the capital replenish inventory to manufacture what you need to do, to hire the right people, to make sure that the business stays going so it doesn't get strained from a cash perspective.
Yeah. Have you ever been hired for projects that were asking of you to present the data in a way that companies can raise capital?
So we get involved in the schedules to raise capital. We get involved in the analysis to raise capital. We don't raise capital ourselves. We leave that to those experts. But in terms of what someone is looking for when they're evaluating your business, either to give you money or to potentially purchase your business, those are the same metrics that we use to value your business every month that when we look at your business. So in essence, we try and sell the business to our clients every year. We have them go through a process where at the end of the year, they sell the business to themselves, and that valuation that they're looking at, we're trying to increase that at all times. So,
Mhm. Fantastic. Sounds great. How can people start engaging with you? Do you
so
have
the
a
best way,
trial or yeah, what is the
yeah,
process of
yeah,
starting with you?
sure, sure. The best way is, let's get on a phone call. You can book on our website. You can book a call with me. We do a profitability call. Usually we talk about where the profit drivers are, what you might be able to do to adjust things. We have a 13-week cash flow template that we offer. There's lots of different ways to get started with us. We're happy to help out in any way. And as you grow and we grow, we can do more things together. So we can hop on a call and discuss your needs, discuss your KPIs, discuss whatever it is you'd like to look at. And if you end up engaging us, great. If you end up using those KPIs, great. But our mission is to help business owners make better decisions with data. That doesn't always mean they become a client, but it means, we would love to educate the marketplace on how to do that better.
Oh, fantastic. You mentioned that your typical client has a size of between 5 and $50 million. What is your client that you definitely cannot work with?
So the clients that are smaller than 5 million, often they don't, and we have a few of them, but they don't, their numbers don't move as frequently as they need to. There's just not enough change in the business for a month to month engagement or even a quarter to quarter engagement. So we have a few clients that are, aspire to be 5 million, and so they want the discipline of putting that in place. But the amount of things that we can do under 5 million is somewhat limited. So there's just not as much to talk about. And as the company gets to sort of the 100 million, 200 million, 300 million range, they start to get silos, they start to get departments, they start to have sort of little areas that start to be untouchable. Our mission is to make change across the organization, and the businesses that are on the smaller side, we can do that very easily. The change management becomes, is easy. There's no sacred cows. There's no silos. There's no places where we can't touch. And as the businesses grow larger, those silos or areas of business become more prevalent, and it's sometimes a little bit harder to make rapid change. So that's why we like this little spot in between where it's very entrepreneurial. The businesses can pivot easily. They can really do things and take advantage of their size against larger competitors and use the data from a strategic perspective, but it's not so difficult to make that change.
Mhm. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ken. Anything else that you'd like to add that I missed asking you?
I just want to encourage, looking at accounting reports can be boring. We don't think they're the end all. I would encourage you to try and find new ways of looking at your data to make better decisions. It's out there.
Thank you so much. Ken LaCroix from Insightful Partners. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Zarina.